Hi, everyone. Welcome to Wild Sage Yoga. I'm Deneen. Grab a mat, a blanket, maybe a couple of blocks or a strap, and let's have a seat. I'm going to start by sitting on a block. You might want to try that as well. Got a block on top of a blanket, actually. So I'm not only supported in my seat, I got some nice comfy padding underneath my ankles as my legs come to cross. Whether you elevate your hips or not, you can choose what kind of comfortable cross-legged seat, if that at all is comfortable for you. If it's not, please feel free to come to your knees, hips to heels, perhaps even just lay on your back, okay? Absolutely your choice to begin. But feet either come underneath the thighs, maybe tuck them in the thighs. Perhaps you parallel the shins right in front of you. Inner thighs are open, knees are open. Lower back is supported, and we're rooted to the block, to the earth, feeling nice and grounded here. Move around in your seat until you find that sweet spot for yourself. You want to feel comfortable. I know this isn't always a super comfortable seat for all of us. Make it as accessible as you can for yourself. Okay. Sits bones rooted into the earth or the block. Hip bones are coming up toward the bottom rib cage. So we're really kind of rooting down through that sacrum to find a little lift in the belly, support in the core, and a lift in the chest. Hands can come down to the top of the thighs. Just palms down. If you want to create a good grounding circuit of energy in the body, palms can also come up a little bit more of a gesture of receptivity or receiving. Can also one hand up, one hand down. Balance that out. Just whatever feels right. Just energetically see if you can just tap in there and just see energetically what feels appropriate or makes most sense in your body in this moment. So moving around, finding that spot. And as we do so, starting to pay attention to the breath. Chin is level over the chest. Gaze is either low on the earth in front of you, perhaps on the horizon, or you can completely close the eyes and just bring the gaze internally. Wherever you are, whatever feels good for you, we're just going to start to welcome the breath consciously. Notice it release consciously. Taking in the breath into the full body. So the breath comes in the nose, grazes the back of the throat, comes down through the chest, fills the chest, all the way down into the belly, and fills the belly, all the way to the top of that inhale. Finding the natural pause there, and then exhaling, squeezing everything out from belly through chest, back of the throat, and out of the nose. Circuit of energy can stay palms down on your thighs, or maybe you're called to bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly as you cultivate this breath. Your choice. But as we breathe, just allowing peace to enter the body and any wayward energy to exit the body. It's finding a balance, resourcing the breath to bring us present to this moment as well as to calm the mind. Using the breath just as an opportunity to slow down, to find communion with ourselves, coming into relationship with the moment and ourselves. With all that's going on around us, and inside of us in response to what's happening in the world, in our communities, perhaps in our homes and in our families. Just knowing that this breath, this pure breath, is our first right and is our closest companion. It's just finding the depth, finding the connection, and allowing all the glitter and the dust particles in our energetic field to just float down to the earth all around us and just be still. Next, exhale, bring hands to either side of you, plug the fingertips into the earth, eyes can slightly open, and then we're going to inhale, arms up. Arms come up, energizing through the fingers, gaze follows, arms come parallel, palms come parallel, palms come all the way together. And on an exhale, we pull those hands down to heart center. Inhale, arms come out and up again. Using that entire inhale to move the arms. Movement matches the breath. Top of that inhale, palms come together. And as we exhale, palms come down through center to the heart. Pulling all that energy home, bringing it right back down. Inhale, pulling that energy up from the earth. Surrounding ourselves, that support. Gathering in the palms. Exhaling it to heart center. Gaze follows the hands, pausing here for a breath. If you have an intention, a hope, a desire, a thought, maybe an inspiring word for your practice today, maybe take this moment and this opportunity right now to name it. If nothing's coming to you, or you just want to remain open in your practice for what might come, then that in itself is a beautiful intention. If you're sitting up on a block, you can go ahead and gently release it, move it over to the side. And we're all going to come on over to hands and knees. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And maybe just finding some natural movement as we unfurl out of that cross-legged position. Extending the legs. Planting the hands, fanning the fingers nice and wide. Pulling the thumb in closer to the pointer finger just a wee bit. Pressing firmly into the finger pads. Base of the knuckle, base of the palm. Crown reaches forward as the arms get strong and we lift up through the upper back, up between the shoulder blades. Heart presses up as the crown reaches forward, continuing to breathe. Knees are right underneath the hips. We've got the joints stacked to help protect the body, offer stability and integrity in the pose. Maybe tap into the tops of the feet just a little bit, and then plug them in. And then we're going to use the breath here in stillness before we start to move, finding length from crown to tail. So finding length in the spine here by really pressing into the mat with all contact points. Finding that good stability here in tabletop. And then using the breath to lengthen the spine and also to pull the front body up. Holding it up. Back body and front body meeting. Creating a nice, strong center or top of your table. And then we're going to inhale to cow. Gaze up, belly stretches, hips tilt up and back. Then exhale, chin to chest. Pelvis curls in. Back body rounds up toward the sky. Hands, knees, shins, feet stay nice and rooted. Inhale, come back through. Find your own rhythm here. Exhaling as we bring everything in and crunch it in. Rainbow the spine, and then inhaling as we stretch everything out and smile the spine. Staying with your breath, allowing the breath to remain with you and help to power your movements. So the movements are following the breath not following the movements. They both match. So if the breath is nice and even, we're cultivating an even breath here as we get started, those movements will be even as well. Also evening out the mind, the thoughts, the energy. Let's meet back in neutral tabletop. We're going to come down to the forearms, continuing to stack the joints. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. Hips remain high, ideally a 90-degree angle there, still at the knee and at the hips. And pressing firmly into the forearms. Again, crown reaching forward, opening up through the sits bones. Heart melting down toward the earth. But we're not quite coming all the way down. We're not quite in puppy pose yet, just in puppy pose prep. Right here on the forearms, tractioning the spine, finding this length. And then gently and slowly, at your own pace and in your own time, and with your breath, starting to walk the forearms forward a little bit, elbows forward. Pausing maybe after just an inch or two, finding a little bit more length. You're going to feel a little bit more space underneath the arms. And just walking them forward. Staying strong, forearms pressing into the mat. To really stay strong, don't collapse in the upper back. Stay firm in the forearms, pressing the heart space up through the shoulder blades. We've gone as far as you can with moving the elbows forward and forearms. Comes a point where you're going to have to extend the arms. Maybe the head and the heart come down to the mat. Finding your puppy pose. If that's not super comfortable to extend the arms, or if that seems a little bit intense, it is an intense shoulder stretch. Elbows can stay bent. Pointer fingers and thumbs come together. Perhaps forehead comes to the mat. You can also bring elbows close in. Head comes to the hands. You can rest the chin in the palms. Creates a little smile in the spine here. A little bit more of a back bend. And wherever you choose to go, just stay there and breathing for a few moments. Finding the breath, feeling the stretch, welcoming the stretch and breathing into it, right in the shoulders, the armpits, belly. And then slowly coming back from your destination, back onto the forearms, back up onto the hands. Find a couple rounds of cat and cow. Just to work that energy through the spine. Relax the spine after that major stretch and back bend. Come to neutral. We're going to inhale, right leg goes long behind us. Find the ball of the foot. Feel free to rock back and forth a little bit. Get a good stretch in the back of that hamstring. Then we're really going to root here. Press into both hands and the top of that left foot. I want you to root and spiral through these arms, okay? Any weight bearing on the arms. We are rotating these biceps out. Eyes of the elbows kind of come in toward each other, right? And then the hands, we're clawing the mat, almost as if we're opening jars in opposite directions, okay? And that right leg is long behind us. And we're rocking back and forth as we recommit to our foundation here, all those points touching the earth. Finding some stillness, shoulders over the wrists, really energizing through that back right heel and inhaling that right leg up. Level with the hips, and this right hip point stays down. Maybe a tendency to want to open those hips up to the side. Time and a place for that, not yet. Send that leg back forward. We're nice and strong here. So in crown reaching forward, each breath, Core coming in. Each exhale, finding that deep core energy behind the belly button, pulling it in toward the spine, supporting ourselves from the inside. Continuing to breathe. Pressing through that heel like this foot is pressing against a wall. If you've got a wall, use it. And then we're going to pivot. This left foot's going to start to slide, and we are going to open up to the right side. Right arm comes up. Right leg is long. One long line of energy here in the arms from earth to sky, right through the heart, left to right, energizing through those fingertips, really pressing through that right leg. Gaze can come up toward the hand. And then exhaling it, bringing right hand down, right leg re-extends, stays lifted. Breathe here. Exhale. Inhale, we're going to open up to the side again. So this right leg can always touch down if you need a little extra support. Exhale, bringing it back in. This time, we're going to bring this right knee in toward the chest and the nose. Big tiger curl here, really round through the upper back. Inhale, lengthen, open up to the right side. And exhale, right hand comes down, right knee comes down, hips to heels. Find a balasana. Knees can be nice and wide, create space for that front belly. Maybe the hips don't go down all the way to the heels. You can also come back down to forearms with the hips high in a forearm table. Wherever you land, just take a few breaths, conscious breaths. Perhaps lift the wrists and the hands, get some circles. Flex and extend the fingers. Find a little relief. Doing a lot of work, doing all that weight bearing, doing a great job. Juice them up just a little bit. Give them a little gratitude. Be grateful. Look at what your body's doing. It's amazing. All right, we're going to come back into our tabletop. Go ahead and gift yourself just a couple of movements to resettle into your foundation. We're going to inhale that left leg long this time. Find the ball of the foot. Find a few movements. We commit to those connecting points of our foundation. Find the breath, find some stillness, press through that heel, feel that stretch. Beautiful stretch. We're going to press firmly into the hands, spiral the arms, stay nice and firm. Press into the top of that right foot. At an exhale, when we're really pulling this core energy in toward the spine, that's when we're going to lift that left leg. Left hip point stays level with the right. Leg does not go beyond, above the hip. Really pressing through that left heel. And again, finding the breath to commit here. To lengthen and strengthen. And then we're going to inhale, open to the left side of the mat. That right foot kind of goes off the back edge. We inhale, left arm up as left leg is out. Beautiful. Big breath here, maybe a second. On an exhale, we're going to come back down. Left hand touches down, left leg still long. And exhale, let's pump it in. Inhale, lengthen it out. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, open to the left. Again, left leg can come down if that feels better and supportive. Exhale, left hand comes down, left knee comes in. Inhale, lengthen and open. One last time, open, expand. This line of energy, moving in all directions. And exhale, left hand down, left knee down. This time we're going to curl all 10 toes. Check in with yourself. We're coming on up into downward dog. So set yourself up for success before we go there. Check in with the hands. Fan, connect, root through the arms. Curl the toes. Start by lifting the knees and the shins. Just bring them parallel. Keep this super deep bend as you start to press the mat away from you. You're pressing yourself away from your hands. Hips are going back. Arms are lengthening. Head comes between the biceps. So we're lengthening and tractioning the spine here. It's more important that we've got length in the spine than we do in the legs. So if you can find this length in the spine or getting close to it with this bend in the juicy bend in the knees, then keep that. If when you straighten the legs, your body pops up beyond the arms, then you're kind of more in a modified plank, which is cool, and we'll get there. But for down dog, we want to keep the arms strong, spine long, head and heart low. So your legs are what's going to help you do that. Once that feels good, you've gotten to a good sustainable spot in that dog. You can start to walk it out. Keep breathing, using the breath. Then we're going to inhale to look forward. And on an exhale, we're going to walk our feet up to meet the hands. Nice and slowly. Take as many steps as you need or as few as you like. We're going to plant both feet parallel. Slight bend in the knees for some absorption, shock absorption. And inhale halfway. Good place to use a block or 2 blocks. Okay. Again, we're just lifting the spine. Torso is coming parallel to the mat in this Ardha Uttanasana, in this halfway lift. Fingers can be on the block in line with the toes or at the shins or the thighs. Your choice can be different every time, just to see how it feels in your body and what works best. And then on an exhale, pulling again that core energy in close to the spine, making some space, bending into the knees, allowing the crown to come down toward the earth. Beautiful. Hands can plant onto the earth. Fingertips maybe pull back to the heels. I like to grab the back of my ankles or calves just for a little extra. So forearms maybe come behind the calves. Pausing here for a couple of breaths. Maybe rocking your weight forward onto the front of the feet just a wee bit, and then pressing a little more firmly into the feet and lifting the hips. See if you can comfortably find a little bit more length in the back of the legs. On our next inhale, we're going to come into a halfway lift again. Exhale, fold one more time. See if you can find more length, more space. Belly to thighs, crown toward the floor. We're going to root firmly into the feet and inhale to rise. We're rising with a straight spine so we don't compress those discs. Heart and head lead, arms come up halfway. Reverse swan, gathering up all that energy just like we did seated. Palms come together and exhale down to the heart. Ta-da, here we are in Tadasana. So building your mountain. Build this Tadasana, feet are parallel. Maybe lift and fan, even hover the toes. Just keep the toes out of it. Use them as balance. Create a nice wide base, but really press it to the base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe. Plumb right down through both heels. Okay. So really using the perimeter of each foot to create Pada Bandha, create that lift in the arches, and then pull that energy high, pull it up your thighs. Engage the glutes, root through that sacrum, pull that energy up the belly, into the chest, opening up through the shoulders. Palms come down to the sides, shining forward. Gaze forward. Breath moving. So even though we're standing still, our breath is still powering our energy, and we're still active. Muscles and joints are active here. No passive mountains. Inhale, arms up, gaze up. Exhale, fold. Lead with the heart, slight bend in the knees, lift and fan the toes. Crown reaches for the earth. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Root and rise. Long back, strong back. Wide arc of the arms. Palms come together. Pull the energy toward the heart. So think of it every time you come up, the end of the sun salutation. Palms are coming down toward the heart, and the feet are rooting down and pulling that energy up. So we can almost imagine that energy in the earth and that we're capturing here into our hearts coming together right here at our center, right here at the solar plexus. Inhale. Arms come up, palms touch. Exhale. Folding forward at those hip creases. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold, root, and rise. Gather it, capture it. Exhale, pull it down and pull it up. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. We're going to step back left foot and then right foot. And we're going to come into a plank. So it's a high knee plank. This is very not accessible for your body. Boom, knees can come down right away. Beautiful. All benefits of this pose are happening right here. If you can maintain this energy in this moment, if that's what's calling you, then knees up, arms are strong wherever we are, rooted into those palms, rooted through the arms, shoulders over wrists. And again, pulling this entire front body energy in on that exhale, okay, to meet the back body, reaching through the crown, pressing through the heels. Again, one long line of energy moving through the body in both directions, all directions, really. Staying nice and strong, lifting up on the quads right here. So lift the knees. Feel how that strengthens this pose. Just another breath or two. You can do it. Got it. This is where we're strong. This is where we find it. Exhale, knees come down if they're not already. Tops of the feet, find the mat, plug them in. On an exhale, we're going to bend the elbows nice and close to the body. Chin and chest find the mat at the same time. Elbows stay hugged in. Inhale, head and heart lift through. You can use the hands. So we're not really using the hands to support us here, right? So we've got this trick, and in low cobra, sometimes we lift the hands to make sure we're using it. I want you to use the hands just to help you rock those hips back and forth once we get to the mat. Then reach a little bit more, point through the toes, hug the elbows in. Hands are on either side of the chest. We're going to inhale here. And then exhale, again, hugging the elbows and the biceps in. Start to press into the base of the palm, lift the chest. So I'm really using the base of my palm here. My fingers are still wide for some good support, but I'm pressing into the mat and pulling my hands back to help pull heart forward. And here we are in a high cobra, being very careful with that lower back. If this causes any strain at all, strain and pinching, not good. A little discomfort, it's okay, work through it. Pain or pinching, just stick with your low version. Okay. Wherever we are, nice big exhale, hips go up and back. Balasana. Maybe forehead touches down. Lift the hips, curl the toes, and exhale, hips up, right back to downward dog. Here we are again. Take a moment to set yourself up for success in this pose. Find what feels good. Rock the hips, slightly bend the knees, but hands and feet are about hip width distance apart. Again, creating symmetry, creating length. And we're going to root into this left foot. You might even move it to the center a little bit. And then inhale, right leg up, point through the toes. Exhale, bend at the knee, heel toward the glute, open up the thighs. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, we're going to tiger curl it forward, knee toward the chest. Pause here, breathe. Inhale, press up and back, point the toe, lengthen that right leg. Exhale, bend that right knee, opening up to the side. Inhale, lengthen. And Exhale, curl. Beautiful. And then we're going to step that right foot on the outside of the right hand. Take a moment to get there. Bring yourself down. Realign, readjust. Right hip pulls back. We're just going to stay here in a lizard prep. Okay. This left knee can come down if that feels good to you. You're still going to get all this same stretch. If you want just a little bit of extra, use a little extra energy in it, then continue to press through that heel and keep that lifted. If you've got a block and you want to use it, or if it's accessible to you to come down on your forearms, come down on the forearms and the inside of this knee. We're hugging in, right outer right hips hugging in. Again, we're breathing. One more breath. And back up onto the hands. Heel to the right foot in towards center. Left knee comes down. You can keep the left toes tucked or find the top of the foot. Front right knee is over that ankle, and we inhale up. Anjaneyasana. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Come up onto the heel. And exhale, plant that foot. Breathe into it. A couple times, just like that. Inhale. Straighten the front leg. Nice. Exhale, replant that foot. Bend on in. And inhale, lengthen. And exhale, plant the foot. Hands come down on either side of that right foot. Lift that left knee. Right foot goes back to meet the left plank. Pause here for 2 full rounds of breath. On that second exhale, knees come down, tops of the feet. Exhale all the way down, chin and chest. Take a moment, release the front thighs, maybe rock those hips a little bit, recommit to the hands, and inhale, press up into full cobra. Once you're there, we're going to look left and right, nice and slowly, and then up and down, continuing to nurture the neck. Open that throat chakra. And then exhale, chin comes to chest. We wave ourselves back, curl the toes, hips to heels, and up, downward dog. Walk it out. Find your symmetry. Greet this pose anew every time, but notice how it's evolving and changing. Root, find your dog, then maybe scooch that right foot towards center. Inhale, left leg up, point through the toes. Find your length here. Exhale, bend that left knee. Heel comes toward the glutes, toward the earth, opening up to the left side. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, tiger curl forward. Knee toward the chest. Inhale, lengthen. And open up again. Bend, open. Really get the inside of the right leg as well as that left hip. Inhale, lengthen, point the toes. Exhale, bring it in, chin to chest. Let's get it one more time. Inhale, lengthen. Open. Lengthen. And exhale, tiger curl it forward. And again, step the foot on the outside of the left hand. It's a wide footprint. It can be a lot. Just see how that feels. We're hugging this hip in. We're just keeping this foot, all 5 toes facing forward, just staying here in this prep. If you need a little bit more space in the hip, you can maybe turn those toes outward to the left a little. And again, check in with that right leg. Also find some movement here, rock back and forth. You can also bring that right knee down if that feels like it's more your jam in the moment. Wherever you are, you're going to breathe, yes? And maybe working your way down if it feels like an inviting proposition. Use a block for the arms or the head. Just be here for another round or 2 of breath. Wherever you are, stay committed, stay present. And come back up onto your hands if you're not there already. We're going to heel toe this right foot or left foot, sorry, in between the hands. And press firmly into this foot. Knee right over that ankle. Find that alignment. Back foot nice and solid as well. And on an exhale, so we've got strength here in the core and the hips. We come on up. Inhaling, arms up. And exhale, press yourself back, pressing into that left heel. Toes come up, leg lengthens, straightens. And exhale, bend back into the knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant the foot. Come forward, stay firm in the pelvic floor. Inhale, come up. And exhale, plant that foot, hands come down, curl the right toes under, lift the knee, step right foot up to meet the left, right into our halfway lift. Big inhale here, exhale. Flowing through a couple of those, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Root to the feet and rise. Palms meet. And exhale to heart center. Finding your breath here. Finding your presence. Feeling your heartbeat. Inhale, palms go up, gaze goes up. Exhale, palms come down through center, hips bend, knees bend, Utkatasana. Breathe here, inhale, lifting the chest, exhale, lengthening the spine, rooting through the tail. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, come back up, palms up, legs straighten. Gaze follows. And exhale, down to Utkatasana, hands to heart. We're going to flow just like that. Feet remain parallel, or big toes can come together, a little space between the heels if you like it that way. Inhale, coming up. Just depends on what feels best in your body and your alignment. I like a little space. Inhale, really reach. And exhale, bend it back down, recommit. Inhale. And exhale, swan dive this time. Heart leads, soft bend in the knees, maybe a massage the legs on the way down. Inhale halfway, hands at the shins. Exhale, fold. Hands find the earth. Nice. Inhale halfway again. And then exhale, fold. We're going to super duper bend the knees and come up onto the balls of the feet. So we're going to find a toe stand. So if you've got blocks, you can have a block on either side. Might help you find a little bit of lift, a little bit of support. If you want to test your balance, I mean, the worst that happens is that, you topple on over, get a little wobbly. That's building core strength. That's okay. That's the whole point. Sometimes I like to say we can't find our balance until we lose it, right? So just stay open to possibility here. Balls of the feet, all the toes in line together. Inner thighs pressing in toward each other. Finding our support here on the mat. And then perhaps hands come to the top of the thighs. Chest lifts, find your length. Again, block here. Block here is going to help us find that lift and length in the spine as well. Hands come to heart center. We're still breathing. It's a balanced pose. Bring those knees and thighs in. Find a focal point. Breathe. On an exhale, we're going to start to bring the palms forward, opening the knees, reaching the arms forward. Heels may come together as those knees and thighs open. See if you can hover the hips, hover that booty above the mat as you reach, reach, reach. And the booty comes down. Yeah. Hands come to the ankles. Turn to face y'all. Feet come together. Baddha Konasana. So you can start with the heels as close to the hips as feels good. And you get another great place for blocks here. So your knees, maybe like this. Maybe your hips aren't quite that open. That's all right. Here we are. In that case, you might also find you want a little bit of support. Okay. Those knees or thighs are just kind of hanging out there. But it all comes from a little softening, little work, little flexibility here in the groin. So don't force the knees down, just support them. You can also use your hands to support. Soles of the feet are together, pressing firmly. Maybe you press so firmly, pull the toes back, you can see those arches lift. Check the strength of those arches. Nice. Inhaling, chest is lifting. Exhaling, rooting down through the seat. If you've got a block, it may come handy. We're going to keep the feet and the legs in this position. Slide those feet forward just a wee bit. We're going to come into a forward fold. So if in Baddha Konasana, this really extreme stretch, like heels close to the pelvis and knees and thighs really open, if that forward fold is accessible for you, then take that. But it's pretty intense. So for most of us, it might feel a little better to bring the hips away from the heels, create a little more of a diamond shape. And we can also use our block either on our feet or right beyond the toes to support the head as we come forward. Yet another option within any of those is finding kind of a turtle pose. We bring one hand or one arm or each arm under each leg. So my calves are resting on my forearms, palms down, and then head comes down. Just gets a little bit more stretch in the arms, upper back. But again, all just options. And finding what is the most sustainable manifestation of this posture for your body. Maybe you're like, none of it's sustainable and you stopped this a long time ago. You're just sitting there waiting for the next thing. That also is awesome. You can always hit a balasana, shavasana for a reset. We're just trying to encourage the hips to open and relax. We want the lower back to remain broad though and comfortable. Again, no pain or pinching. Okay, no bueno. Just another breath or two. Then inhaling to come on up. Remove your props if you're using any. Those blocks to the side. One hand to each knee. And slowly closing the legs. Just some nice support there so we're not straining those muscles. Heel to the feet out. Knees fall together. Hands come behind. I'm going to suggest, so this can create kind of a little hyperextension in the elbow. So I'm going to suggest that fingers face the glutes. You can start by finding a super bend in the elbows and squeezing the scapula together, and then press into the mat, straighten the arms. Get a nice stretch on the front of the arms, back of the arms. Right here, our lower back is released too. So knees have fallen in toward each other. Feet are a little closer to the edges of the mat. Those toes can point in. That's also helpful. The breath is working to lift the chest and root through the heels of the hands. Still using some strength and activity here. Just another breath or two, stretching wrists. Again, releasing pressure in the lower back, finding space in the front body. Launch up onto the fingers, extend right leg And then left leg. Inhale, arms up. Press through the heels, pull back on the toes, and exhale, folding at those hip creases, energetically reaching those arms forward and long beyond the toes. And bending here, belly coming to thighs as close as you can until you're really feeling it in the back of your legs or your back body. When you hit that spot where it says you've gone far enough, we're just going to float the hands down. Chin comes in toward the chest, crown of the head toward the toes. And then using that breath, maybe your inhale, you lift ever so slightly. Maybe on your exhale, you walk the fingertips forward and the belly comes a little closer to the thighs, again, ever so slightly. It might be actual movement. It may be just an internal energy or intention, but just allowing the upper body to relax as much as it can toward your extended legs. Inhale's also opening the back body, back of the heart. Exhale's creating space for you to close in, sending a message to the nervous system that you're starting to move into a restful posture, stopping the movement. On an inhale, lift the head and the heart, extend the arms. Pause for the exhale. Inhale, press firmly into the heels, lift the arms up and pull yourself back. Inhaling the arms all the way up. And then exhaling to float your wings down by your sides. Beautiful. And then bring your legs in together again. Find a cross-legged seat. If you want to grab your blanket or sit on a block as you did before. We're going to end our practice today in a seated position. Find whatever version of a cross-legged seat feels good. Left fingertips come to the mat. Inhale, right arm up and over. Spiral gaze and heart toward the sky. Inhale back to center. Right fingertips down. Left arm reaches. Heart and gaze spirals all the way to the bottom of the exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, right. Inhale up both arms, finding symmetry. And exhaling and flapping those wings down nice and slow. Switch the cross of the legs. This time, inhale, wingspan wide. Squeeze the scaps together. Bring your arms as open as possible, as if you could touch the back of your palms together behind you. Maybe you're that flexible and you can. And exhale, just like you're moving your arms nice and slow through honey or molasses, bringing them forward to the right parallel out of the shoulders, palms facing each other, holding this beautiful ball of lighter energy right in between. Inhale, arms open, allowing that light and that energy to expand out all directions. Opening to the top of the inhale and exhale, again slow, creating some resistance, containing that energy, bringing it in. Then inhaling one more time, allowing it to grow. And then exhale. Hands come all the way together and into heart center. Thumbs to sternum. Chin drops down toward the chest. Gaze at the hands. Our eyes can close. Finding a soft breath here. Maybe revisiting your intention for your practice. And releasing it on an exhale. Also releasing hands down to the lap. Keeping the eyes closed, you can bring the chin level. Just going to breathe here for a few moments. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the body as the spine remains strong and upright. Using the breath to soften. Remaining present these last moments of your practice. As you sit here and breathe, I'm going to share a quote today from Valarie Kaur, her book See No Stranger, and the main premise of her movement, the Revolutionary Love Project. This is her offering. Love is more than a feeling. Love is a form of sweet labor, fierce, bloody, imperfect, and life-giving. A choice we make over and over again. If love is sweet labor, love can be taught, modeled, and practiced. This labor engages all our emotions. Joy is the gift of love. Grief is the price of love. Anger protects that which is loved. And when we think we have reached our limit, wonder is the act that returns us to love. Feel free to bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly, or to cross both hands over the heart. Revolutionary love is the choice to enter into wonder and labor for others, for our opponents, for ourselves, in order to transform the world around us. It is not a formal code or prescription, but an orientation to life that is personal and political and rooted in joy. Loving ourselves only is escapism. Loving only our opponents is self-loathing. Loving only others is ineffective. All three practices together make love revolutionary, and revolutionary love can only be practiced in community. Palms together at heart center. Much like in yoga, our practice begins again with love for ourselves, relationship with ourselves. But there are benefits to our practice, both seen and unseen, for ourselves and for others. May you reap the benefits of all that your practice provides. Namaste. Thanks for joining me, y'all. Have a great day. Go in love.